welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to introduce myself to you, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So, all my beautiful creatures of the earth, don't we love a good love reading? You guys know that those are one of my absolute faves, and that is why we are going to be looking into your love life for the next 6 months today. So in order to help you figure out what is going on in your love life over the next 6 months, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from. So I would like you to pick one of these 4 stones intuitively, so just go with whichever stone that you feel truly resonates with you. So regarding the 4 stones, they are as follows. We have the Diopside, we have the Orange Calcite, we have the Orchid Calcite, as well as the Tiger Eye. But as usual, you guys, the links are in the description box as well as pinned to the comment section. And I get this question a lot, people asking me, hey, what if I can't make up my mind between multiple groups? Well then, you're in luck, because you can tune into multiple readings in order to get the ideal mixture that is your personal reading. So if you can't make up your mind between the 4 groups, feel free to take a little bit of 2, maybe even 3 readings into your mixture. And if you're completely new to my channel and you enjoyed your reading, then do not forget to hit that subscribe button and of course turn on that notifications bell. That way you will never miss another reading that is relevant to your life. So yeah, you guys, I like to keep the intros very short. As you know, my readings are all about you. So I like to spend more time within the individual readings so I can pull as much information as possible out of these readings and report back to you. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Diopside, and to all the other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Diopside group number 1, and I want to get straight into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on in your love life over the course of the next 6 months. So let's see what we have here. First and foremost, we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Moon, as well as the 8 of Swords. So we have a very interesting mixture here for you, group number 1. One thing that I see here in the Moon is the fact that you have to be very intuitive, okay? I see that there are some situations that will arise in your love life over the course of the next 6 months that will have you feeling almost like you do not know what move you should make next, okay? You feel confused, you feel kind of a little bit anxious to make a mistake, and I want you to know that the most important thing for you to do during this time is to tune into the portal of your heart and to really become one with your mind, your body, and your soul, okay? To really have those different parts of you interconnect to get to a point where you feel whole, where you feel like you are mature and sort of like, how should I say, grounded enough to make the right decision. Because one thing that I see here in the 10 of Wands is the fact that you may feel kind of like doubtful, okay? You may feel doubtful of your love life. You may feel doubtful of somebody that enters your love life. You may ask yourself, you know, what are their true intentions? Why are they here? And I want you to know that in order to be more at peace and just have less anxiety about your love life, you really just need to get grounded, you know, get yourself out into the nature, maybe even do grounding exercises, okay? Take off your shoes, take off your socks, group number 1, and just ask yourself, when was actually the last time that you actually put your feet on the bare ground, on the soil, that you really felt the energy of the earth? And I want you to make use of that, okay? It is free. All that it requires is a little bit of time and dedication of you going out there and putting yourself in a situation where you can acquire this grounding energy, which is so important for your love life, group number 1. And I think I just want to get further into your reading before I say more at this point. So we have the Queen of Wands as well as the 10 of Cups. Okay, so group number 1, one thing that I see for you in the 10 of Cups is emotional fulfillment. Okay, so the 10 of Cups is a highly favorable card, especially in the scenario of love. As you can see, we have a happy couple here just looking at their lives and just sharing a beautiful moment, you know, being mindful, being in the moment, and just cherishing everything that is their life. So I want you to know here that whether you will end up being with another human being or whether you will be by yourself with your cats or your dogs or your hamster, it doesn't really matter. One thing that I see here is that you will be happy at the end of these 6 months, okay? You will feel fulfilled. You will feel as though you have reached another milestone, another sort of plateau in your life where you can build just like the next level, okay? And in the Queen of Wands, I want you to know that you're going to have to be a little creative, okay? These next 6 months, as I said, there will be challenging bits in between. So while the outcome is going to be favorable, it's going to be a happy time, an emotionally fulfilled time, I want you to know, group number 1, that to get through the challenges, you have to just allow your ideas to flourish. Do not feel as though any idea is a stupid idea, okay? Any idea that you come up with is valid. Anything that you feel you should try out, whether it's online dating or just dating out of your country, dating out of your race, whatever it is that is a challenge to you, because we all have different challenges and we're not on this channel to judge, okay? We all come from different backgrounds, from different ways of being raised, which has programmed us all individually to think very, how should I say, very differently, okay? The way I think and the way I am open to dating is different from the way you think and the way you're open to dating. But I see that just challenging yourself and getting out of that comfort zone, out of that box, is so important for you, especially if you're already in a relationship or a situationship. I see it as though in order to keep things interesting, you have to spice it up, okay? And if that means bringing new things into the bedroom, okay? So this is not PG-13, so I don't need any comments about you saying that I'm only 14. I will give you the information regardless, and one thing that I see here is that just romantically, you can really think outside of the box and be just a little bit more comfortable in your body to try something unconventional. Then we have the 8 of Cups. So in the 8 of Cups, one thing that I see is that there are situations where you will really find new hope that have a lot to do with you coming to these dead-end streets and then realizing that actually coming to a point where you're unsure what the next step is, where you're unsure what to do next, can really work wonders for you. When you're at a situation where you feel like your back is against the wall, especially in love, it can all of a sudden open up a completely new sort of room, a completely new era that is unknown to you, that will open up a doorway, a pathway that you never expected, that will end up having a way better result than you imagined. So you may have one very specific sort of pathway in mind that you want to take in love, but instead of that, you may take a detour, okay, in these next 6 months. And first, you may think to yourself, oh my God, this is not what I wanted at all. But you will realize at the end of these 6 months in your fulfilled state that that was really for the good of it all, okay? That these obstacles were put in front of you to prepare you for what was to come next and to strengthen you and teach you important lessons. So never think that a situation is negative. Never think that a situation is just put before you to harm you. Always ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? What positive thing can I pull out of this situation, no matter how challenging it is? Because when you see things from that point of view, that is when you start to create. That is when you start to just use your inventive, sort of innovative side of yourself that does not come out unless you're challenged, okay? You're the kind of person that needs to be challenged, that needs to be put in front of a situation where it's like, okay, do or die. You know what I mean? Sink or swim. And that is when a completely new side of you comes out, which I see happening within these next 6 months in correlation to your love life, group number 1. Then we have the waterfall, we have the green man, we have a DNA as well as wind. So group number 1, one thing that I see here in the waterfall is that regardless of everything we just spoke about, it will seem more or less effortless. It will seem as though everything is kind of flowing the way it needs to flow. Everything is sort of just happening the way it should happen, and you're just feeding off the different situations. That is one thing that I see in the green man. I want you to know that if you go on a date and you don't really click, you kind of feed off the situation knowing exactly how to behave in that situation, okay? You all of a sudden know, okay, if I don't click with somebody, how do I let them down easily? Or how do I cope with rejection without just feeling down for a long time or really questioning myself and my self-worth? You will start to see how each time you get rejected, or each time you reject somebody, or you kind of like step into an unknown, that gives you a new experience that you can learn from, and that will allow you to know like how to act in that situation gracefully in the future, and how to handle those situations, and also how to have those situations transpire into different areas of your life. So yes, this is a love reading, but at the same time, group number 1, I want you to keep in mind that if you can handle rejection, a breakup, you rejecting somebody in love, that teaches you so many skills of how to deal with other human beings. If you can handle rejection gracefully, trust me, when it comes to business, if somebody says no to you, you will keep trying until success, and that makes an amazing business person. If you're somebody who knows how to gracefully sort of let someone down or reject somebody, that gives you amazing people skills, where you can gracefully turn down an offer or somebody asking you to maybe be part of an opportunity that is just not for you at this particular moment, and not burn the bridge. So you see how your love life can give you a lot of amazing tools for the rest of your life, because it is such a like people focused thing. Of course, it's your love life. I mean, your love life is not you and a tree. It's not you and some fries. I mean, maybe it is you and some fries, but you get what I mean. You know, your love life is all about people skills. It's all about being able to deal with another human being, which can give you very, very valuable tools for your everyday life with other people who you're not romantically interested in. Then in DNA, one thing that I want you to know is that you have to focus on your karma, okay? These next 6 months, they're not necessarily going to be easy. Yes, they're just going to happen. You're going to look back at the 6 months from now, and you're going to think to yourself, wow, you know, this just all happened very quickly. But I want you to know that even though it happened so quickly, like, you really need to focus on your karma. You really need to focus that what you're putting out there is what you want to receive. Because in wind, I do see kind of like the tendency for an activation here, and this could be a positive activation, this could be a negative activation, okay? So if you're not careful with how you treat your karma, how you treat the people around you, especially when it comes to love, okay, try not to act out of a very emotional place, or out of a place of anger where you do things without thinking, okay? Group number 1, that is very important for you, because what you put out there, even if you didn't mean to put it out there, it could activate negative karma, it could activate bad karma. So I want you to focus on really getting control of the side of you that may become overly emotional or overly angry. You know, if anger management is something that you struggle with, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something where you can really connect with your shadow self, with that side of yourself that struggles to keep those emotions at bay and know how to express emotions of anger. That is where you really need to team up with it and sit down with your shadow self and be like, hey, how can I help you not burn bridges? Okay, how can I help you not do anything that will have negative effects that are long lasting? So that is one thing that you really need to focus on within your love life for these next 6 months. Then we have inspirational creation, as well as the third eye portal. So one thing that I see here in inspirational creation is that, you know, just innovation. That is one thing that I see for you, group number 1. I definitely see that there is a tendency here to link up with somebody, to be happy, to be in a happy relationship or situationship. But as I said, this does not need to be with another person. You can be happy by yourself, not in a committed relationship, by the end of the 6 months, which is the best outcome. Because sometimes life is good, but if we don't have what we want romantically, if we're not in that relationship, or we're not in that marriage, in that situation that we dreamt up to be, it doesn't matter how amazing our life is, we're still going to feel like something is missing. But that's not what I see for you, group number 1. I definitely see here that you will be able to sort of like be innovative, to create something out of a vision, okay? So I definitely see that your love life is going to have to do a lot with your dreams. So you may have sort of like this dream of being a certain kind of person before you enter your forever relationship, or you may have this vision of you, you know, just being this wholesome person that is an awesome wife, an awesome husband, a great partner who is just that rock, who is always there for this other person, for this person that you love unconditionally. And deep down, you may know that you still have a little bit of work to do until you want that forever relationship to come into your life, just because you want to make sure that you can show yourself from that side, okay? That you can be that rock, that you can be that wholesome person. So I definitely see that there is a lot of creating going on in those realms. There's a lot of you getting closer to this person that you want to be. And a great way for you to get there a lot quicker than just wishing it, group number one, is to actually create a vision board. So Google, get magazines and cut out images of symbols, things that represent who you are striving to be next. It could be, outfits. Maybe you want to represent yourself in a certain way. It could be, items. It could be a lot of books. Maybe you want to be knowledgeable, well-read. It could also be, for instance, yoga poses. Maybe you want to be one with your body, more flexible, more able to physically do things with a partner. Not those kind of things, group number one, if your mind went in that direction. I mean, doing sports together, doing activities that bring you out of your comfort zone. Then I want you to really create that vision board, really create that thing that you can look at that will every day inspire you to subconsciously make decisions that bring you closer to that person that you want to be. And it also just gives you clarity for creation. It gives you clairvoyance in order to really open up this third eye portal, in order to really make everything that you can out of this inspirational creation and sort of shape your own version of who you want to be. So if there's this person that you want to be, that you really look up to, but you will all of a sudden start to realize that you can be a way better version of them, but that version is so much better because it's you, okay? It's you with your twist on it, with your individual twist that only exists one time, okay? So make use of that and allow yourself to really just focus on you when it comes to your love life, because one thing that I see here is that, regardless of whether you have somebody, whether you do not have somebody that you're sharing time with 6 months from now, that is up to you, okay? The chances are good, but it doesn't need to happen if you feel like you're not ready. I see that you're going to be happy, you're going to be fulfilled, and you're going to feel as though you're really getting somewhere with your life. And that is what attracts the greatest love, when you are happy with yourself and when you love yourself, when you're fulfilled with yourself. So group number one, this is the reading that I received for you for your next 6 months of your love life. I truly hope that it gave you clarity. I hope that it inspired and motivated you. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the orange calcite, group number two, and the orange calcite is for anybody who wants to create something beautiful, okay? This stone is for anyone who wants to break through the fog, the insecurities that come with creating that dream love life, okay? That come with creating your best life, and to just have these sun-kissed sort of energies around you and take them along with you, which will give you more confidence and more security in who you are. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's going on in your love life for the next 6 months. So we have the King of Wands, we have the Seven of Swords, as well as the Queen of Cups. Okay, so group number two, one thing that I see here for you for the next 6 months is the fact that there may be somebody of a fire sign coming into your life, okay? In the King of Wands, I see somebody with fiery energy. I see somebody who is able to be mature, get things done, have a very creative side, but at the same time, it is not too dreamy, okay? This creative side is a creative part of this person that actually leads to results. You know how some people are very creative, very dreamy, but they're unable to actually bring something into reality, you know? But that is not the case here. I see the person that is coming into your life, this energy that is a big part of your life is all about being creative, but actually also bringing it to fruition, bringing it to life. And in the Seven of Swords, I want you to know that these next 6 months, there will be people coming in and out of your love life that are maybe not who they say they are. And it is important for you to really focus on looking at their actions instead of their words. The Seven of Swords, the suit of swords, corresponds to the intellectual realms, okay, to what is going on mentally. And I want you to be very aware of the fact that, especially when it comes to air signs, when somebody is quick, witty, sharp, intelligent, those are all amazing traits to have as a human being, but at the same time, that can also make a deceitful person if that person wants to acquire trust in a wrongful manner. So in the Queen of Cups, I want you to know that this is kind of like you, okay? This is who you need to be. The Queen of Cups stands for somebody who is emotionally intelligent, who understands that you have to be empathetic. You have to be a little trusting, okay? You cannot side-eye everybody. You cannot feel like everybody is out to get you or be afraid of contact with human beings. But at the same time, you can give people the benefit of the doubt in a way that if they break your trust or they surprise you negatively, it does not actually affect your life negatively. So what do I mean? Let me make a little example, group number 2. So if there's somebody who enters your life here in the love realms, okay, let's say here the Seven of Swords situation, and they're pretending to be loyal. They're pretending to want to be in a committed relationship, but as soon as it actually comes to commitment, they change. As soon as it actually comes to being loyal, they all of a sudden aren't taking it, they aren't putting so much emphasis on it, okay? They just say, well, it's details. Well, it was only one time that I didn't respond to you for 3 days, or I went on a date with somebody else. So just an example. So group number 2, I want you to know that in order to not let that affect you, you have to give emotional distance these next 6 months between you and the people entering your life until they have proven that their actions speak louder than their words, and louder in a very positive way, okay? You don't need somebody who screams from the rooftops how loyal and awesome that they are. You need somebody who shows it. You need somebody who doesn't need to say it, but just how they behave proves it. That is one thing that I see that you should really be discerning about in your life, group number 2. So keep an eye out for that. Then we have the Eight of Wands, we have the Page of Wands, as well as the Knight of Cups. Okay, so we have a lot of fire energy here for you, group number 2. And fire energy is very creative, okay? The Eight of Wands, the Page of Wands, as well as the King of Wands all correspond to fire signs. So fire signs are often the ones that are more outgoing, often the ones that are very creative, innovative, and unafraid to be different, okay? Unafraid to be unconventional. So in the Eight of Wands, one thing that I see here for the next 6 months of your love life is the fact that you should be a little more open-minded to something different, okay? In the Knight of Cups, I see a situation to be with somebody who is more emotional than you're used to, okay? A situation to be with somebody who cares a lot more than you have ever had somebody care in your life before. And this may shock you, group number 2. You may be like, why is this person so attached? Why does this person care so much about me? Well, that is true love, group number 2, okay? And this may shock you, but somebody who is obsessed with you, somebody who wants to know everything that you're going through, every little thought, that is one thing that I see that you have to be open to sharing and to be with somebody who really, really cares and shows that they care. And that is all that we spoke about here in these 7 of Swords, okay? It's important for them to prove themselves to you, and somebody who is trustworthy will undoubtedly prove themselves. They will not allow a situation to escalate to where they might lose your trust. If you are important to them, they will show you that, group number 2. Keep that in mind. In the Page of Wands, I want you to know furthermore that it is okay for you to not know a lot about this sort of relationship that is most likely going to establish itself over the course of the next 6 months. You may feel like you're sort of just going with the flow, like everything is very new and very much an unknown to you, and I just want you to roll with it. I want you to go with it. Also just being discerning and, canceling people out of your life whose actions do speak louder than their words, and in a way how you just don't want that kind of energy in your life. Like, allow yourself to be that person who just releases, okay? It is literally no coincidence that the autumnal equinox jumped out of this pile of cards. You have to release them, okay? If somebody even shows the smallest sign of, say, infidelity, the smallest sign of not being serious about a relationship. Meanwhile, you want to be serious. You don't need more signs, because oftentimes we kind of brush over signs, especially big red flags, when we like somebody or when we don't want to be honest with ourselves about it. But that is not the time for this, okay? These next 6 months, you don't need that group number 2. It's important for you to be honest with yourself and to not brush over red flags, but instead to just release that soul out of your life that is maybe not the perfect puzzle piece for you at this moment. So don't try and make excuses for other people. Group number 2, don't try and talk yourself, into just giving 3rd, 4th, 5th chances. Allow yourself to just release what needs to be released. You will be able to feel it, group number 2. Then we have the cave. Okay, so building a sanctuary is important, okay? If you feel a little bit uncomfortable in your house right now for whatever reason, maybe your living situation isn't the best, maybe you haven't been keeping your things organized and clean, group number 2, that can also make us feel uncomfortable in our environment, then I want you to change that, okay? These next 6 months in your love life will probably require a little bit of private space for you to have, okay, in order to maybe be with somebody romantically. And it's important for you to feel as though the space is inviting, for you to feel as though you can be yourself and feel comfortable and confident. So really work on that. And also, for yourself, having a nice house, a nice room, a nice apartment just makes you feel so much better about life in general, as well as your love life. And it is just essential for you to mentally have the clarity to see through red flags and to be more discerning between different people and situations. Then we have the guardians, we have the ice queen, we have trust, as well as the promise. So group number 2, this is really interesting. And the promise, one thing that I see is attraction. I see a possible situation where a soulmate enters your life, as well as a lot of sort of options and chances for a partner. So options and chances for a partner, that is amazing. But as I said, really, really focus on trust. That is also why trust has showed up in your reading. You may have a lot of hurdles to still overcome before you actually begin to trust somebody for whatever reason. Your past may have had a lot of hurt, a lot of situations where you were disappointed more than anything. And I want you to know here that these insecurities, you have to be a little patient with yourself, okay? So don't jump into a partnership, don't jump into sort of promising somebody anything, and don't make them promise anything to you until you really feel like you can trust them, okay? There's no point in being in a relationship where you have trust issues, because that will come with a lot of backlash. When you do not feel in your heart like you trust this person, this can stem from your own insecurities or from the fact that they have showed you a side of themselves that is not trustworthy. It can be one of those two cases. There are other options and scenarios that can make you not be able to fully trust, and that is okay. But then do not be in this close relationship, because you will end up arguing, you will end up fighting, you will end up having these emotions come back up in different situations that actually have nothing to do with the core of, these trust issues. So, well, they do have to do with the core of these trust issues, but you will not be arguing about trust. You will be arguing about the little things. You get what I mean? So what I'm trying to explain is when you're arguing, for instance, about what to watch or what to eat, something really tiny, something really unimportant, but what is the actual root of this? What is the actual issue and the reason why you're arguing about this little thing that actually means nothing in the grand scheme is because there are these underlying trust issues that make you rebel, okay, that give you these emotions that just boil over and really make you just want to scream, okay, group number 2. And I don't want you to get yourself in that situation, because then you become the person who is difficult to talk to. Then you become the person who is always so defensive. And that is one thing that I see here in the guardians, okay? it is not your job to be shielding yourself 24/7. It is important for you to be in relationships where you can feel like you can let your guard down. The world can already be, in certain situations, a very difficult and hostile environment, especially if you're dealing with something like anxiety, with things like agoraphobia. There's so many different situations, so many different mental challenges that are out there in this world. The last thing that you need is to feel like you need to guard and shield yourself around the people that are close to you, around the people that you spend the most time with. That is a big mistake. You cannot constantly be in this defense mode, okay? That will just sort of like put your personality away. It'll tuck it away, and then all of a sudden your personality will start to develop into one that is more guarded, that is more defensive, that just jumps to think like, oh my God, I don't know if this person likes me. I don't know if anybody likes me. You know what I mean? And those insecurities can start to grow. But I don't want to go too much into detail, group number 2. I think it is just most important for you to know that if you cannot let your guard down around, say, friends that are really close to you or you think are really close to you, or family, then you know that something is wrong. You know that like you either need to fix the situation or the person is making you feel that way for a reason. Maybe that friendship is not ideal for you. Maybe that partnership is not a partnership that is meant to be forever, or not one where you feel comfortable enough to just let yourself be you and let yourself be without any sort of shield. And it's important for you here to have some introspection, okay? That is one thing that I see in the Ice Queen. You may be an Ice Queen, but every Ice Queen needs a little bit of time and the warmth, okay? Every Ice Queen has her little fire and her igloo that she can warm herself up around. And I want you to know that it is important for you to not feel like you don't need that just because maybe you're not overly emotional, or maybe you're more of an Ice Queen kind of personality. I want you to know here that it's very important for you to take time to really think to yourself, like, am I getting enough warmth time, okay? Am I getting enough time to let my guard down, to be myself, and to feel like I don't need to be the Ice Queen, or I don't need to defend myself, or I don't need to put up a shield just in case I get hurt, okay? Focus on that, group number 2. That is very important within your love life in order for you to stay mentally healthy and to not feel attacked really quickly, and then in turn to attack back or to build up walls and never really have the intimacy that you need and that you deserve. So group number 2, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comment section if you did and what really hit home for you. And if you're new to my channel, of course, do not forget to subscribe. And I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Orchid Calcite group number 3, and I want to get straight into your reading about the next 6 months of your love life. So let's figure out exactly what's going to go on for you. So first and foremost, we have strength, we have the 7 of Wands, as well as the Ace of Wands. So we have 2 cards that correspond to the suit of Wands, which is a fiery suit, okay? This is a suit that is passionate and that just shows that there are things going on that are unexplainable, but they feel right. And that is exactly what I see here in the 7 of Wands. In the 7 of Wands, I see that your heart is going to end up winning over everything, okay? As you can see here in the 7 of Wands, we have the heart that somehow just is triumphant over everything else that you may have had or that you may have considered. So you may have been fearful, you may have considered like, oh, what if this doesn't work out? And one thing that I see in correlation to strength, that you will start to realize that really being strong has a lot to do with being compassionate with yourself. In correlation to your love life, I definitely see as though like there may be a situation here where otherwise with your rational mind, you may have thought to yourself like, I don't really want to get into this. This person is maybe not for me. Maybe I shouldn't try online dating. Maybe I shouldn't try, dating somebody from another country. But at the end of the day, your heart, your feelings are going to win. And that is going to teach you so much about yourself, not being so hard on yourself, and just allowing those new inspirational ideas and situations to enter your life without already thinking to yourself what could go wrong. That is one thing that I see in the Ace of Wands, okay? I see sort of like more of a maturity when it comes to just allowing yourself to be yourself, when it comes to allowing yourself to actually try something new, okay? And it is so important for you in your love life to allow your heart to win when you're really, really being pulled towards something. And you may have often in the past try to be more rational, or you may have let your heart win and then you got hurt. But I want you to know that oftentimes when you get hurt, knowing that it just felt right, you just wanted to give it a shot, you think to yourself like, at least I tried, at least I was the person who put myself out there, at least I wasn't too afraid to give it a shot, because if I wouldn't have given it a shot, I would have never known. And that is just what I see here that will really bring you success in your love life. That is one thing that will bring you to a situation where you're at the start of a new, very passionate and just action-filled journey. So whether that has to do with a new person entering your life or not, we will figure that out as we move on in your reading. We have the Ace of Cups, we have the Seven of Cups, as well as the Queen of Swords. Okay, so we have a very intricate and intriguing combination for you, group number 3. One thing that I see here in the Ace of Cups is a new beginning, okay? On a emotional level, I see a potential for a new beginning, for a deep connection. In correlation to the Queen of Swords, this may be somebody of an air sign, okay? This may be somebody that is like the Queen of Swords, somebody who's very truthful, very loyal, someone who is intellectually on a high level, someone who is mentally sharp, okay? They may be academically the kind of person who has accomplished quite a lot, okay? This may be somebody with a PhD, this could be somebody with a master's, a bachelor's, just somebody who puts value on knowledge. And this does obviously not need to be knowledge that comes in the form of a piece of paper that you get in return for a lot of time and money that you've given to an institution. This person may have learned a lot on their own. You know, there are so many people who spend their lifetime reading and learning about something, and they know just as much as somebody who maybe has a PhD in that field, okay? So somebody who is interested in teaching themselves new things in a very constant and ongoing way, and even if they didn't have the funds to, say, you know, fund a elaborate university degree or just sort of like path, they still opened up doors for themselves by teaching themselves how to do things. So that this could be somebody who is an entrepreneur, a business person, someone who is very smart, quick, witty, and savvy, okay? And being business savvy, you do not learn that from a textbook. You do not learn that from somebody who has never done it telling you how to do it, okay? It is important for you to make those experiences by yourself, and this person knows that. And just in correlation to love, one thing that I see here is that it is just really attractive to you. This person who holds their own and has taught themselves so much and has brought themselves out of a situation that may have been hopeless for another human being, and just catapulted and just propelled themselves into a completely different area code of life. So furthermore, in the Seven of Cups, I see seduction, okay? So whoever it is that is coming into your life, group number 3, you will feel like, wow, this person is hot, this person is super, super sexy, okay? This person is just really a turn on. The way they carry themselves, the way they speak, the way they choose to be around you, the way they choose to treat you. I definitely see some form of attraction, seduction, and you just feeling like you just want to be close to this person. That is one thing that I see in the Seven of Cups. But I want you to look out to not just sort of like let your instincts take over completely, group number 3, because sometimes when we're so into the physical aspect and, you know, getting physical with another human being, we can forget everything else that happens around us. And I don't mean that that person has malicious intent, but sometimes we can forget to study. We can forget to make sure that we're doing our work the way we are supposed to do our work. We can forget how important it is to stay on top of our business affairs, our personal affairs, to talk to our friends and family. You know, those things can all sort of slide into the background when you're infatuated with another human being. So look out for that, group number 3. I don't want you to miss out on important important business opportunities, to fail tests, okay, to miss important life events in your friends and family's life, all just because you're infatuated with a situation or a person, okay? So we have the tsunami as well as lightning, okay? So one thing that I see here is that it is important for you to maintain your power in your love life, group number 3. I see that if you let go of this power, like we just spoke about, if you let this intriguing energy, this infatuation take over, then I see that it may come with a very rude awakening and with sort of like a wake-up call that you didn't expect and did not want in your life. So as I said, failing an important test, missing an important event in one of your friends' life or in one of your family's members' life, and you will think to yourself, oh, I wish I wouldn't have been rolling around in bed with this person, and instead I would have actually focused on my life, okay? Especially if this is not a forever situation, if this is not a forever relationship, you never know, okay? So group number 3, I know that everybody decides to be, physical at different levels, at different times of relationships. So this is just an example. You may choose to not get very physical with somebody, but just to be very emotionally connected. And I want you to know that that can also be distracting. Just because maybe you're not somebody who gets physical within 6 months, that does not mean that you can't be distracted or that you can't miss out on what is going on in your life by, being so infatuated. So look out for that. Then we have a majestic eminence and the crown portal. So group number 3, in majestic eminence, first and foremost, one thing that I see here is just like your divine feminine really coming out, your self-worth really being at the center of the question here, okay? You will start to question whether in love, whether you feel almost like a little objectified, whether you feel almost a little bit like you've been acting, dressing, or just conducting yourself in a certain way to attract a certain kind of person, a certain sex, a certain kind of personality, just a certain person in this plane, in this physical plane. And I want you to know here in the crown portal that you will choose to consciously separate yourself from this idea that society has as for how, for instance, a woman is supposed to be or a man is supposed to be. You're going to consciously separate yourself from that conventional idea because you will grow more into your own divine feminine, and your own divine feminine is how you define it to be. You're not going to allow anybody to define what is attractive, okay? You're going to say, I am me, and if that's not enough, then you can leave, okay? I am me, and if that is not good enough for this society, well, guess what? They can go F themselves. So that is what I see for you, really just like this self-empowerment coming for your love life in the next 6 months. Then we have destiny right here, as well as emotional freedom. So I see a lot of emotional freedom that is going to come through this movement of self-empowerment and really not allowing yourself to inflict pressure or hurt on yourself as a person due to standards that society has set or that we're supposed to keep up with when it comes to love, when it comes to just our romantic lives. And in destiny, I want you to know here that you will come closer to more bits and pieces of your life's path. So I feel as though really liberating yourself from having this specific image that you feel like you should have, for instance, no body hair, wearing makeup, having your hairstyle in a certain way, wearing certain kind of clothes. I see that freeing yourself from those norms and not feeling as though they are so important to you anymore, and you really only engaging in the ones that bring joy to you. I really see that that will give you more of an idea of what your purpose is, okay? Because you're not going to be so preoccupied with how you should be, but you're going to be more preoccupied with just being you and just being. And that will give you more of a feel for what is right for you and what doesn't really go with your personality, which will then in turn bring you closer to your life path. And that just makes you overall more attractive, group number 3. And I want you to know that in love, it is very clear that somebody being confident in a very grounded way is one of the most attractive things ever. Somebody knowing what their purpose is, being passionate about something. That is one thing that no amount of beauty can replace and no amount of glitz and glam or all the glitters can replace. A person who knows who they are, somebody who has a purpose and is going after their purpose no no matter what anybody says, that is what is truly attractive. And I see you morphing so much more into that realm of yourself within the next 6 months in your love life. So really make sure that you do not miss out on this amazing growth that will impact your life and your love life over a very long period of time, okay? It is great for you to be infatuated with somebody in a reasonable way, okay? Group number 3, it is great for you to be intrigued, mystified by another human being, to experience those feelings of love, those feelings of like emotional intensity. But do not forget about yourself, your friends, your family, and your personal growth in the process. So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you found it insightful as well as inspirational and motivational. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 4 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger Eye group number 4, and if you've been feeling out of balance, that may be why you've chosen this stone. Furthermore, the Tiger Eye is for Geminis and Virgos especially, but as I said, for any of those of you who have been feeling like your love life has just been out of balance, and that may be exactly why you've felt drawn to this stone and this reading. So let's get right into it. So we have the Six of Swords, we have the Six of Cups, as well as the Hanged Man. So one thing that I see here in the Hanged Man is the fact that over the next 6 months, okay, you will be able to change your perspective. The Hanged Man hangs upside down for a reason, very comfortably, okay? The Hanged Man is not distraught over the fact that things have maybe slowed down in their life in order to see things from a different perspective. So you may be, for instance, single right now and think to yourself you wish that you were in a relationship, but group number 4, see how that may change. See how that over the course of the next 6 months, you may think to yourself, wow, like I can really enjoy this time of my life. I can really live my best life being single. The same goes for being in a relationship. You know, you may think to yourself, oh, I wish that I had more time to myself, but all of a sudden when you realize just how much value there is in having a partner in crime, all of a sudden when you see all the pluses about it, you may think to yourself, you know what, I lived my single life and now I'm ready to enjoy this amazing human being that I have with me. But as a whole, group number 4, one thing that I see here in the Six of Cups is just the fact that the next 6 months for you are a time of giving, okay? Emotionally giving, emotionally being there for other people. And why this is so important for your love life is because it will really allow you to open up your heart chakra, to be more open-minded when it comes to love, when it comes to letting just people in general, and you will start to believe more in the good of people again when you realize just how good it feels to give and how willing a lot of people are to give back once they have received from you, okay? But taking that first step is brave, group number 4, and it's something that not a lot of people like to do, but you're just feeling like you want to be there for other people, which is amazing. Furthermore, in the Six of Swords, group number 4, one thing that I see here is that to a certain degree, the ship has sailed, okay? If you're currently in a situationship, if you're currently speaking to somebody and you feel like something is off, you feel maybe you're not getting the attention that you really need and deserve, maybe you feel as though like something isn't really working out. It could also be in a relationship that you're in right now. One thing that I see is that you will get to a point where you have talked as much as you can talk. You've talked it to death, okay? It's kind of water under the bridge and you have to move on. I see that mentally, maybe the ship has sailed for you already, where, you know, physically you're still in the relationship, but mentally you're somewhere else. And that is when you have to sort of allow yourself to create an escape plan, okay? That is one thing that I see here in the Hanged Man, just to get out of that situation physically with as little harm as possible. So obviously that could be in a relationship where you do feel like the person may like physically try and harm you if you leave, but it could also just be like physically get out of the situation, as in move out, not spend time with that person anymore, and just make sure that your mental plane sort of aligns with your physical plane when it comes comes to your love life. If you're checked out in a certain situationship or a relationship, or you feel like the other person isn't really with it, then don't feel like you have to stay in that situation. You know, think of how you can just smoothly get out of it and make sure that you're spending time emotionally fulfilled and just with people who uplift you in situations where you can just show your graceful side, your loving and giving side. Then we have the Three of Cups, we have the Page of Pentacles, as well as the Seven of Swords. Okay, so group number 4, we have a very intricate lineup here for you. In the Three of Cups, one thing that I see is celebration, group number 4. So there will be amazing birthday parties, okay, weddings in these next 6 months, maybe a birth, you know, somebody becoming pregnant around you. And one thing that I see here is that it is important for you to partake in all of those situations and to just let your hair down during those celebrations, okay? Don't hold back, just be your most craziest self, okay? I feel as though maybe you've been holding back, maybe you've kind of like not been letting yourself shine as much as you should. That is the feeling that I get from your reading, just because a lot of your reading points to emotionally letting go of fears of maybe being different, maybe being like the odd one out, but you don't need to be afraid of that, okay? One thing that I see here in the Seven of Swords is that anybody who is not here for your highest good, anybody who is low-key jealous of you, it's going to reveal themselves. And group number 4, one thing in correlation to love that you need to know, okay, you need to look out for, is that friend where if you're in a relationship or situationship, they like to say embarrass you in front of the person that you're interested in or your partner, or they kind of like, they make jokes, but they're jokes that are derogatory about your love life or who you are in a relationship. Do you get what I mean, group number 4? That like low-key shady friend, but you feel like there's some truth behind it, and they do it especially in correlation to love and dating, maybe out of jealousy, maybe out of them not being happy with their situation, and you just feel as though there's like a sly kind of like sneaky thing here. So one thing that I see here is that, you know, the ship has sailed for that as well, group number 4. I see that that is blocking your love life. Having that kind of energy around you is not good. Even if you say to yourself, well, you know, we've been friends for a long time, or well, you know, it's my sister, my mom, my brother, whoever it is, you have to like keep a little bit of safety distance, because the reason why you maybe have not been cultivating the exact love life that you desire may be because of this person. You know, really think about it, group number 4. Of course, I'm not trying for you to sever any ties that would hurt you, but at the same time, sometimes we have to sever ties even if it's painful, because the person can just not let a bitch live, okay? Let's just be honest, group number 4. Sometimes you just have people in your life where as soon as you're happy, as soon as you're thriving, as soon as love is amazing, they just gotta like plot something, okay? They can't be happy for you. And I want you to know that that can be a subconscious blockage. When you already know that support is not there, or you already know that there's somebody in your life who is going to maybe talk down about the situation, be very unsupportive, or just give you a hard time in general, that may subconsciously already put like a little bit of fear, a little bit of blockages of you opening up when it comes to your love life, which obviously is hindering you from achieving greatness. And I don't want that for you, group number 4. So I'm just being honest with you. This is all part of your love life, okay? Your love life is not just only, oh, who is entering my life? You know, who am I going to be close to next? Or how is my relationship gonna go? Like the other relationships in your life, the people who you interact with, are just as important as, you know, the actual romantic aspect. So in the Page of Pentacles, one thing that I see here is that there are new opportunities to sort of like come together with somebody and maybe like make a very big commitment, okay? So if you're already in a relationship, you know, making that big commitment, such as tying the knot, getting engaged, also like purchasing a house, just something a little bigger together. If you are in a situationship, seeing somebody, dating, okay, if that is currently what you're doing, just having that bigger commitment of, for instance, investing in a trip together, that is a bigger financial commitment. Also maybe investing more time with each other, thinking of moving in together, all of those types of steps that would really bind you in the earthly realms. That is one thing that I see here in the Page of Pentacles. And, you know, it is just something that you have to think through, but at the same time, like, you know what's best for you, group number 4, okay? You know if somebody is right for you or if somebody is not who they say that they are, or you feel like you will end up being the one who is going to carry more weight than that person. So look out for that, group number 4, but let's move further into your reading. So we have the full moon as well as the river. So group number 4, one thing that I see here in the river is the fact that there's a lot of movement happening in your love life, okay? The river is all about things sort of like going from one situation to the next situation onto an even greater situation. So in the river, I want you to just know that it is important for you to enjoy every moment. If you go on a date with somebody and you like them, don't already be nervous and think to yourself, oh my God, are they going to want to see me again? Is this going to work out? Am I going to marry this person? I mean, have we not all been on that really amazing date where we thought to ourselves, oh my God, what would our babies look like? Like, when are we going to get married? You know, is this going to last for years, okay? And don't deny it, group number 4. We've all been there. And I just want you to enjoy the moment and not think so far ahead. Because when you think so far ahead, you already kind of put a little bit of expectations on the situation. You're already like, well, you know, I hope this continues this way. I hope we see each other again. I hope we end up building something. And I want you to know that when you enjoy every moment just as it is and you don't have too many expectations, then you feel better about the situation, okay? Because you're not already worrying. I want you to know that it is so important for you to just focus on what is good right now and just let things kind of happen, okay? In the river, as I said, we have a lot of movement, so a lot of things may change, a lot of things may enter a different realm that you may have not expected. So if you had a certain expectation and that is not an expectation that is being fulfilled, you may feel disappointed and not even see the greatness in the change that has happened in your love life. You get what I'm saying, group number 4? You guys always get what I'm saying. So in the full moon, I want you to know here that you're going to come to a situation of completion. So maybe you want to tie the knot, okay? Completion is nearing. Maybe you also just want to be in a relationship, in a committed relationship. And that is where I see that, you know, completion is also something that you can easily acquire within these next 6 months. But focus on quality instead of just completion, okay? Focus on making sure that it really, really suits you and your situation. Furthermore, here in trust, you know, the universe wants you to know that trust is the most important. It is not more important to be in a relationship or be married or just, you know, have a certain kind of image. Group number 4, it is more important for you to really focus on trust. And within the next 6 months, I just want you to give yourself the time to overcome any sort of insecurities and to find somebody who is also willing to work on those insecurities with you. So those insecurities may have stemmed from, as I said, like an abusive relationship, somebody who was kind of like low-key your frenemy. And I just want you to know that sometimes it can take time to move on from that and to also just think to yourself like, wow, like I really didn't notice that. And you may be hard on yourself. You may think to yourself, why did I even let this person so close to me? Why did I even, you know, tell this person all of my secrets and all of my dreams and aspiration? But I don't want you to be hard on yourself. I want you instead to overcome like this fear of opening up to somebody again and showing somebody your vulnerable side again, because there are a lot of people who are worth it, group number 4. And it is really hard in this day and age, and that is something that I struggle with a lot too. I'm really afraid to make friends, okay? I'm really not good at making friends just because of those types of situations. And I know that a lot of you struggle with it as well. I mean, I read it in the comment section, and sometimes we just need to be a bit more open-minded, and we need to like remember, for instance, the Unicorn Fam, there are over like 130,000 of you. That is already 130,000 more people that I would like to be friends with than I ever thought were on this planet. You know what I mean? So just know that where there is a caring soul like yourself, somebody who just wants a pure and supportive relationship and friendship, there are more people of you. You know, you're not alone. Then we have liberation as well as breakthrough. So one thing that I see for you, group number 4, in liberation is just the fact that fulfillment is nearing in your love life, and that may be just the news that you wanted, as well as in breakthrough, you know, just a new beginning. And furthermore, we have a destiny. So I definitely see that you're destined to come to this point of liberation within the next 6 months. You're destined to come to this point of fulfillment and just breaking through what you never thought you could break through. So 6 months from now, you are not going to recognize your love life anymore. You're not going to recognize who you are in your love life, because you're just entirely different, okay? Your entire persona is so much more uplifted, so much stronger, so much different and more empowered, to the point where you feel like this is truly a new beginning, okay? So 6 months from now, group number 4, you will feel like your love life is on a fresh sort of patch of soil. This soil is not fruitful. It is, you know, when it has a lot of vitamins in it, when it has all of the minerals that you need in order to grow your crop, in order to grow anything that you want to grow on it. Please comment down below. I'm sure you guys know exactly the word that I'm looking for. So that is what I see for you. You're going to see so much potential in what you can create, so much potential in the new relationships that you will be able to acquire within these next 6 months. And it'll just sort of like show you that you are of service in this world, okay? Sometimes we feel as though the people around us are not as inspiring as we want them to be, but when we actually like make room for new and better people, as we spoke about in the Seven of Swords, as like harsh as it sounds, when those people who we now vibrate with, when we up our self-worth, when they enter our lives, those people who are on a whole different frequency than the ones who are dragging us down, all of a sudden life becomes so much more purposeful. Life becomes so much more fruitful, and you feel so much closer to understanding why you're here, why all of you are here, and just like the driving force that you can be in order to make a change in this world. And I know this is really deep for a love life reading, but honestly, like, I just like to tell you what I see in the cards. If I see a little more than just what is in your love life, when I see things that extend to outside of your love life and also your friend circle, your platonic relationships, I want you to know, group number 4. I think it is important for me to take my time to explain that to you, especially, you know, while we're already here. I will not have the chance to explain this to you at a later point. This reading is happening now. I'm doing it right before your eyes. So I truly hope that you enjoyed this extra information, group number 4. Let me know down below if you like this intricate mix between your love life as well as how your friendships and other relationships may be affecting it. And just let me know overall if it gave you clarity and motivated you. So group number 4, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.